So aligning this front wheel, we take time to align the caliper for you, but sometimes there can be a little bit of drag, and if you'll notice, I've loosened these two bolts on the back. If I press on the caliper, you'll see that the wheel drags and it doesn't spin freely. When I relax it and give it a little bit of free play, you'll see that the wheel spins nice and free. And that's where we want it. Once we've got it in a position where there will be a little bit of drag because they're new brake pads and we do want them touching, but we can tighten this down and make sure that you're kind of holding the caliper as you do it so that we don't end up with it sliding side to side. The spacers that we've put in there are already got it the right distance on the back side, and this is just simply to snug it up, and there is Loctite on these bolts to hold them in place, and this is an adjustment that you can do later as well as the bike breaks in. Next, we'll move back here to your battery. It's right here. If you ever need to take it out, you can loosen up this Allen and the battery simply slides out the back. We've got your magnetic connection here covered up so that it didn't engage during shipping. And there's a little plastic cover that's over the top of the where it plugs in. So we're going to pull that off as well. This obviously needs to be in place. This is your charging port, and this is where your charger will plug into and then plug into the wall. In order to run the bike, this needs to be in place, and it will only go in one way, but it needs to pop all the way in. Simply take the covers off of your cranks here. Pull them off and get the tape off. We'll also cut this string. We'll pull this one off as well. We have some protection back here for your derailleur as well as the brake side. So we're going to cut those zip ties, take those off. There's some protection on your frame. So we're going to pull those off as well. And the last thing we'll talk about that we leave on, but you can take off, is this plastic ring. And that's made to make sure that the chain before the derailleur is aligned doesn't skip over the top and mark up your frame and or your spokes. So you can cut this off if you like. Most people will after the derailleur is aligned and it doesn't move past this top cog. So I'm going to grab the info that's in the box here. We've got throw a set of pedals in there for you. Most don't come with pedals because people buy them. We have some platform ones that we throw in for you. And then we've got our box of goodies here that we'll open up. And there is, of course, a manual in here for you to follow, and also some other componentry items. This is something they started new for all the bikes in 20 here. This is your battery charger and that port that I just plugged you in. This is the brick, and then this is the end. You'll notice is the same as that other end. When you unplug it, this is magnetic and it pops into place. And then in the other box here, we have a 110 cord that plugs in here and plugs in the wall. Bike does come with a little bit of a charge. You need to plug it in to work, to get it worked up to the full 100%, and you can monitor it through Mission Control. As you can see, here's your cable that plugs into the wall. There's some reflectors, which we don't put on, which you can. There's a tubeless kit in case you're interested, reflectors for your wheels, and then we've got your manual here that you can read through a little bit to get some more info about the bike. So we're gonna grab the set of pedals and we're gonna take off the protective coating that's on them. Remember, pedals on any bicycle spin on 2 different directions, and that's because of the direction of your that your cranks go, and you don't want the pedals to spin off when you're riding the bike. So you'll feel the threads. Don't force them. If you've got the wrong pedal on the wrong side, it won't go in. So as long as you're holding it square and you spin it, you will feel which direction it goes. And so this side is the reverse thread, which is the left side when you're sitting on the bike, and this side is the normal thread, which is the right side when you're sitting on the bike. On the back end of the pedal, there is a T handle, and it is in your small kit as well. but you can screw your pedals tight instead of trying to wiggle a wrench in there from the back side. Once they're both tightened up, we're going to flip the bike over, and we'll talk a little bit more about some setup on it and things that you need to do before you take it for your first ride. So, of course, one of the things we can check while it's upside down is your tire pressure. You will need to get a Schrader valve converter. So on the tube, you're going to see that it's a small Schrader valve. And this simply unscrews, the Schrader valve screws on, and you can use a regular air compressor to air this tire up, or you can get a Schrader valve pump, which is small and it just connects onto this, and you can pump it by hand, whichever you prefer. Notice there is some adjustment on the bottom of your forks here. You have compression and rebound controls, which you can play with to click in and click out depending on your riding style, to adjust it for your feel, what feels good to you. So once we turn the bike over, I guess one other thing I should point out, we always leave this sticker on. If you'll notice, this has the SKU number, which is the model number of your bike. It also has the serial number of your bike, which is also located under the head tube right here in a permanent sticker. But the important thing on here is this BLE number. This is the number that you need to connect mission control to your bike. And so I will flip it over, and I'm going to show you your power system here at the top, which you'll notice it's powered on. If you take out this little star bit screw, on the side of this is also your BLE number. So if you lose this, don't panic. We can also get it from Specialized if we call in with your serial number, which again is permanent on the bottom here of the tube. But if you need to, you can pull it off of here. And as long as it's on, I'll talk about this for a sec. This is our power button on and off, and also our battery life and then turbo mode. We can turn the bike on and off from here. This tells us how much battery we have, meaning it's about a third full. And then we can actually control how much turbo we have here. This is a third assist, 2/3 assist, and full assist. We can also control that up here. So we have, we can add more or less assist. And by using the control up here, we can actually turn it off. So it's no assist at all, but the battery is still on. These bikes have a walk mode, so if you press and hold the button, you'll notice it jump forward. I press the Specialized button on the top and then hit the button on the bottom, and I can actually walk next to the bike if I'm in a precarious position where I need to get it up a hill or need some assistance. So I'm going to turn the battery off for now, and we're going to go back to some more of our controls. If we notice on the top here is our compression control. So rebound on the bottom, compression on the top. We can adjust this to be stiffer or softer depending on our riding style. On this side is the air pump. This simply spins off, and we can use our air pump to increase the pressure on the front forks. While we're talking about the suspension, we can look at the rear here. It's the same thing. The RockShox does have controls on the front. And then you've also got your air inlet where you can add air to increase the pressure or decrease the pressure, similar to changing a spring on a spring setup, but you can do it with air. All the bikes come with a dropper post now, all the Turbo Levos, and we've installed that already for you. Up here on the left side of the bike, you're going to see a small lever that you can press, and the seat pops up. Pressure on the seat and holding the lever in allows it to go down, and you can adjust it as you need it just by pressing that lever. There's an adjustment right here on the bottom where we can actually control how much pressure is on the cable. If at any point your seat seems to pop up on its own, don't panic. The cable's just a little tight. Take some of the tension off. If you push the button and the seat won't come up, add some tension to the cable, and that will help it to lift. You can make adjustment on the seat height as well by simply loosening this. And again, this is a bolt that only requires 6 Newton meters of pressure to tighten it. You don't want to over tighten this. If you do, this is like a fork. You'll pinch the componentry inside of this, and then it won't work correctly. So 6 Newton meters, you can raise or lower this so that then you have the dropper post working correctly when you're doing downhill stuff, or if you want it lower to stop, or whatever the case may be. Up on the headset, as we talked before, the bars can be rolled forward and back, which we call our rise run. We can loosen up these 4 bolts or even 2 of them, and then we can roll the bars forward, and we can roll the bars back to get a good, comfortable position. And of course, same thing with our levers. So each one of our levers has Allens on the back that we can tighten or loosen to be able to move them up and down depending on the position that we're comfortable with. And same with our lever position altogether. So that's pretty much the Levo in general. We've taken time to make sure we went through this start to finish for you, and then it's ready to run. If you have any issues, you're welcome to call at any time. We want to make sure that you enjoy your ride and that this is set up for you correctly. Accessory-wise, you can find all of our accessories on specialized.com. We can order them for you through here. You can find a local dealer, or you can order them right online. If you have any other questions about the bike, and as we go through your process here, you can feel free to reach out with email or by phone. Adjustments can be not only found online, but in the manual that we've sent you. And we hope you enjoy your new bike.